Welcome to the course on data communication and networking, week 3, session 1. In this session, I will discuss about telephone system, how from older days to how it was evolved. That is known as that is follows circuit switching scenario, and we'll discuss about computer communication system, which follows packet switching scenario. And lastly, we'll differentiate circuit switching and packet switching scenario. We know very well that Alexander Graham Bell has invented the telephone communication system, and he has filed a patent, the first patent in telephone industry, and he was awarded first patent for the invention of telephone in 1876. Let's see by taking one example, how was the telephone system in older days. Consider there are two users, user 1 and user 2, they want to communicate and they require instrument. Along with the instrument, they also require one communication line. So this communication line is connected to both the telephone system, and user 1 whatsoever speaks, everything will be transferred through this communication line. And normally it speaks, it's a human voice, so it's a non-periodic sine waves are transferred from user 1 to user 2. Similar way, user 2 will respond with to user 1, and in that case also non-periodic waves are also transferred from user 2 to user 1. Let's go ahead. There are two, we are adding two more users over here, user 3 and user 4. They also want to communicate, so we require again pair of telephone system and communication wire as well. So this communication wire, it's a physical layer characteristic, and we call as a channel. In technical term, it is known as channel. Here we can see whatever user 1, user 2 speaks, they are transferred in pure voice communication form, or voice will be converted into analog signals, non-periodic analog signals, and they are transferred over wires. So there is no change or there is no alteration of signals are required. Whatsoever it speaks by either user 1 or user 3, it will be sent on wires, and other side it will receive the same signals. So this kind of communication is known as baseband communication, where you don't require to alter values of user information. So whatever user speaks over here, purely those data will be transferred into analog signals or digital signals, and they are transferred over communication channel. No alteration is required over here. Limitation in this case, user 1 and user can talk to each other. User 3 and user 4 can talk to each other, but user 1 cannot talk to either user 3 or user 4. User 1 can talk to only user 2. So that's a limitation over here in this diagram. To overcome the limitations, scientists were develop a new system, and they have developed this method where user 1, user 2, user 3 and user 4 are combined into a one area where all the cables or communication lines from respective telephones are connected to one area or one building. So what they did in earlier days of evolution of telephone industry, they were they have replaced, or they did some telephone operators were available. So user 1 has to call to telephone operator. Telephone operator will find out the location, will find out this user 1 wants to either talk to user 2, user 3 or user 4, and it makes a communication, or it connects the cables over here. You can see the cables and ports available over here. So this operator will provide or will facilitate connection from user 1 to either user 2, user 3 or user 4. Gradually, this kind of communication is known as manual switching, and gradually is replaced by some hardware circuitry where The hardware circuitry are having a ports. In this diagram, you can see there are 8 ports: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 4 users, user 1, 2, 3, and 4. If user 1 wants to communicate, he or she dials on telephone number. Telephone number goes to this hardware circuitry. Hardware circuitry will find out this number is related to either user 2, user 3, or user 4. If that number is related to user 2, it will find on which port it is connected. So it makes connection between these two automatically. Previous diagram we have seen that operator is responsible to make a connection from this port to this port. Now the hardware circuitry, by dialing a number, it identifies, it search first user 2 is connected on which port, and then it connects this in line to outline. So user 1 whatever speaks now onwards after connection, non-periodic sine waves, they are transferred over this port. From this port it goes to this port, and from here it goes to user 2. So this is similar to previous the first scenario where user 1 and user 2 talk to each other, but over here the provision is made over here. User 1 dials a number, it goes to hardware circuit will search for available connection, and it makes connection automatically. So this kind of connection is known as circuit switching, and it is with the help of hardware devices. So in this case, let's go ahead some abstract level of telecom communication. Let's say user 1 has a information to send, means voice communication, so we can represent as a data. It's a voice communication in telephone system, and those data is transferred over this communication line. And this happens because of the circuits, and this performs this operation to connect this port to this port. It is known as circuit switching. Because hardware it facilitates this one, that's why it is known as circuit switching. So here we can see there are two layers required: user layer and physical layer. User 1, whatever she or he speaks, so that is known as data, and that is transferred over wire. So whatever it speaks, that is known as user layer. So voice data is user layer, and then those data is converted into electrical signals, and those electrical signals are transferred over the line. It goes to circuit switch. Circuit switch, it provides a connection, and then it goes to user 2 or user 3 or user 4, depending on what user 1 has dialed. So that is known as responsibility of physical layer. So we can define this communication of already of telephone communication. We can divide into two layers: user layer and physical layer. Layer is voice communication or human voice. Physical layer is responsible to transfer those human voice in terms of electrical signals. So here the hardware circuit, this telephone system, we can say it is available over here. Some portion of user level I'm considering is a telephone system. So this is telephone system. It's a user. User generates information in terms of voice. There is interface in telephone system that converts voice into electrical signals, and electrical signals are transferred over communication line. So this way we can consider as well very older system. If user gets increased, what happens in telephone communication systems? So we can see there are two limitations as far as what we have discussed till so far. So this baseband communication is limited to certain distance, and one-to-one channel is required in baseband communication. Meaning to one-to-one channel is that, let's say the previous scenario where the four users wants to communicate with each other, user 1 makes a call to user 4, and this hardware circuit will identify a connection on which the user 4 is connected, and it makes a connection over here through hardware circuit. So So meanwhile, if user 3 wants to communicate to user 1, if she dials to user 1, so from this circuit it identifies this circuit is already engaged, so user 3 will get engaged tone. So that's why it's a one-to-one channel is required, that if multiple conversations if you want to do, then it's not possible. Although user 1 and user 3 are not speaking anything, they have dialed a number and they have put receivers aside. They are not communicating with each other. In that case as well, user 3 is not allowed to talk to either user 1 or user 4 because they are engaged right now. Still they are not transferring any information on this wire. So one-to-one channel means one-to-one dedicated circuit will be established. I repeat, dedicated circuit will be established between sender and receiver, and then until and unless they hang up the communication or close the communication, the circuit will be utilized for two-end communication. Between two-end communication, this is first end and this is second end. So let's map with our computer network. Computer network, computer interprets only the digital data. It cannot understand analog data. So that's we have to take care in our mind. And telephone were operated on analog signals only. The computer generates digital data, and telephone exchange were understanding only analog signals. So we require the converter. So converter in the sense, if two users speaks different language, one speaks English and one speaks Urdu, so they require the converter which converts English to Urdu, Urdu to English as well. So over here we can see there is a modem over here. This device is known as modem, which converts digital signals which is generated by computer into a analog signals which is understood by telephone exchange or telephone industry, telephone circuit. Then it goes to other end. Again there we have to have a one more model which converts analog signals into a digital signals, and then this will, when this bob replies, then it generates digital signals. Digital signals will be converted into analog signals. Analog signals are put on this line and it goes to this modem. Again this modem converts from analog signals to digital signals. So this was very older day scenario. In 1995 to 2002 or 2003, we were having this scenario where a modem was acting as an interpreter, or it's an intermediator between the digital communication and analog communication. To extend this diagram, this is a diagram of Sky Research Organization where the allies wants to communicate with Bob. Bob is owner of a bookstore, and the allies wants to place an order which is given by Bob at a scientific book agency. So in Sky Research, allies is connected to their own network. So this is periphery of Sky Research. Then it goes to their ISP. ISP stands for Internet Service Provider. Then from their local ISP, it goes to regional ISP. Regional ISP, it goes to national ISP. From national ISP, again goes to regional, state level or regional. Again, it's a ISP of this Bob, and from ISP of Bob, with data or the lines are connected to Bob organization. So books are placed with the help of some request. The request contains book name. So let's say this is the data is generated by Sky Research or by Allies machine. This is data generated by Allies. Then those data into partition into a number of bunches that is known as blocks. So this is first block, second block, and third block. This whole data is divided into 4 blocks. With respect to computer network, this block is known as packet. Then for each packet, For each packet, this is elaboration of enlargement of this single packet. Each packet, each and every layer, you can see there are various layers over here. Application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. Those 5 layers will add their own headers, and those headers are application header, transport header, network header, data link header, and lastly physical header. So normally the web browser is works at the application layer, which generates its own header because data is sent by allies. So in while ally sends a request or any machine sends request, it data goes from top to bottom direction. So first application layer generates data and it is known as header and it is attached with block. This is a block, enlargement of block, and the application layer is attached with this block. Now network layer generates its own transport layer generates its own header and it is connected to this application layer header. Before application layer header, the network layer generates its own header. It is attached to or before the transport layer header. The data link layer will generate its own header and it is connected over here. Then they combinedly becomes one bunch of information that is known as frame. Physical layer will transfer data or convert those number of data over here, which is converted into one, which is stored as a terms of ones and zeros. Those ones and zeros are transferred by physical layer by either electrical signals. Electrical signal may be analog signal or digital signal. We'll discuss this how does it transfer over analog or digital signals in this topic very much in detail. So this frame will be converted into electrical signals by physical layer, and from those allies machine, the data or electrical signal goes to this next machine. This next machine is now it is known as switch. Earlier in telephone communication it was modem, now it is a switch. It's a network switch. Network switch is further connected to router, that indicates it's R2 router. The name of router is R2. R2 is further connected to R4, that's a national level ISP or regional level state level ISP. State level ISP is a national level WAN switch. This is national level WAN switch and it is connected to R5. R5 is connected to R7. It's a ISP of Bob organization, and R7 is connected to network switch. This is a network switch, and network switch is connected to Bob computer. So in this case, 2 layers are not sufficient because in circuit switching networks we wanted to transfer only voice communication, and the hardware circuit will facilitate to switch over between ports. So in that case, 2 layers were sufficient, user layer and physical layer. But in this kind of communication where the computer generates data is partitioned into a block which is known as packet. Each and every packet will have their header added by each and every layer over here. That's why these 2 layers are not sufficient and we require 5 layers. So these are the 5 layers: application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. To understand the scenario, let's take one example. Application layer data generates data. Application layer generates data in form of request. So I want this data from some websites. So there might be some processing over here. Let's consider this SSS as a processing. Then application layer at last it calls transport function. The transport function, what it gives, application header. It might be this code is creates application header. It's a fixed header format, and then it request is now converted that is known as data. So request is placed over here. Give me the first page of this website, header as well as data. Then next, this transport layer. This is code of transport layer. The data application header plus data is known as data only. So transport layer, it knows only this is data given to me, don't need to inspect what is that into a header of application layer. So transport layer interprets the data only, and then there might be some processing. It creates network header, and this is attaches network header here. This is network and edge. So network layer, it adds its own header, network header. Sorry. Transport layer, it adds its own header, that's the transport header, and it places data over here, and then it is sent to the network function. Network function, what it does, it receives this header and data over here, and then it performs some processes. This header and data, it goes over here in form of data. Network layer generates its own header, and that is known as network header. It places over here, and it calls function data link. Data link layer will receive this network header plus data over here, and then it performs some processes. It creates some data link header, and data link header will be converted to ones and zeros along with this data that must be available over here, and it calls physical layer. Physical layer will convert those ones and zeros into electrical signals or digital signals. This is the digital signals. Electrical signals might be this one, and it transfers over physical line. So we can consider this application layer is here, the code of application layer, then is followed by transport code, then is followed by network code, that is followed by data link layer code, and physical layer it's a hardware. Hardware is responsible to transmit ones and zeros. So let's continue with our previous diagram where Alice wants to request a book which is available at Bob's store. So it generates a request. Request is partitioned into a 4 block which is known as packets. Each and every block will be added headers by all these layers. Application layer will add header, transport layer will add header, network layer will add header, and data link layer will add its own header that we have seen in the previous diagram in form of C language code. So those first packet goes from Alice machine to this switch. We have seen till so far what we have seen, the data is transferred from top to bottom. That Alice wants to send, so that's why it follows top to bottom. Alice will follow bottom to top when it receives data. So while sending a data, it follows top to bottom. So that's why application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, the headers of all these layers will add it, and they are placed one before one on one. Then switch layer receives data. This is a case of receiving of signals. So switch receives data, so it goes upward direction. So from physical layers, it receives electrical signals. Electrical signals will be converted into ones and zeros. Those ones and zeros will be given to data link layer. Now, what is the job of data link layer over here? The data link layer will identify this data is intended to R2. So, upon making a decision at data link layer that this data is intended to R2, it searches for outgoing port, and it gives back data to the physical layer. So this is outgoing direction. So data link layer, first it receives signals from Alice on these wires. It receives signals, it takes decision, and then it gives to physical layer back on this port. That transfer data from this port to this port in form of electrical signals. R2 receives the information. It receives information, so it performs bottom to top. So first from physical layer of R2 will receive electrical signals converting to ones and zeros, gives to data link layer. Data link layer interprets this information belongs to me, then it gives to network layer, because network layer works up to network layer. So R2 will provide data. You can see in this diagram, R2 when it receives data, it receives electrical signals are received by physical layer, then it goes to data link layer. Data link layer it identifies this data belong to me, then it gives data to network layer. Network layer will take decision that this data has to be forwarded to R4, so that's why this network layer gives again data to data link layer. Now this is top to bottom. Then data link layer again adds its own header, then it gives to physical layer. Physical layer puts electrical signals on this wire, and then it is subsequently received by router R4. The same way router R4 is having three layers: physical, data link, and network layer. Network layer will take decision and it selects outgoing port. Outgoing port, the cable is connected. It converts into electrical signals, and those signals are received by this WAN switch. From WAN switch it goes to here. From here it goes to router R5. Again in router R5 there are three layers. It same thing will be followed as we have seen in R2 and R4. So R5 will follow the same steps, R7 will follow the same steps, and then actual packet will be received by this switch. And we know very well the switch works up to data link layer. It receives electrical signals, converts into a ones and zeros, again makes decision. Out of these three machines, 1, 2, and 3, this data belongs to Bob's machine. It identifies port, this port, and it forwards on this port. Bob machine will receive a data. So this is a way how the data is sent on packet switching network. So over here in packet switching network, the abstract view, whole data is divided into bunch. Each and every bunch will have their own headers. So similar way, this packet will have a header, this packet will have a headers, and this packet will have a headers. So those each and every packet will be sent over these lines. We have seen how does it transfer over these devices for one packet. Subsequently, it follows for second packet will be sent by lines, then third packet will be sent by lines, and this fourth packet will be sent by lines. So till so far, we have seen two types of network communication technology: circuit switching and packet switching. Older telephony system was purely circuit switching where baseband signals were used. Now, but gradually they have changed the form of Fourier signals. Now, no longer they are using baseband. Second switching technology we have seen packet switching network. This is an example of packet switching network where computer network communication uses packets and it sends over routers and switches, and then it is received by ultimate destination. So what is the difference between packet switching and circuit switching? So circuit switching uses dedicated line, dedicated path is available before sending a data that we have seen in the diagram. The lady user 1 wanted to call user 3. So what she does, she dials a number and dial number goes to circuit. Circuit will identify the destination port and it connects automatically. So that is dedicated path will be available before they start communicating, talking to each other. Over here, there is no dedicated path available, but shared path available. Path is available for all the time. Packet goes from one router to another router to third router, and so on. So this single channel will be utilized by multiple users depending on source and destination available in packet. Source and destination we'll see in subsequent lectures. What is known as source and destination in packet. The next difference till so far is all data will follow same path. In circuit switching, and in case of packet switching, different packet may follow different path. While user 1 dials a number, so hardware circuit will make a fixed connection. Although the alternate paths are available, it makes available path as a and it fix the connection. And unless they put a receiver on phone, the circuit remains same. So whatever she speaks, all the data will follow same path. But over here in packet switching network, the different packet may follow different path. If the different alternate path is available, the one path which is available but it is having a heavy traffic, it may follow. Second packet may follow different path. It is not necessary that all the packet has to follow same path.